Cooldowns are the most important part of your kit, and here's why you need to be using them with intention. Hi, this is Puff Support, and this is part 2 of my coaching series. And today we're going to be diving more deeply into a topic I brought up in my last video, which is about cooldown usage. And we're going to be watching gameplay from a game that I did recently, and we'll see a good example of cooldowns with intention and then a bad example. Right now, you're watching a support on the enemy team, and we're going to see what she does with her cooldowns. So here, her Zenyatta is critical. And while yes, he does need healing, what is important to notice as well is that he has no incoming pressure on him. Our team is not running any dive, we are just poke, and he is completely out of LOS of the enemy team. But what the Kiriko chooses to do, which you'll see now, is she chooses to Suzu him, which also misses. And all the events after this decision, not only from her, but from her teammates, are essentially the direct result of her using her Suzu there. Her tanks are going to push in. Now she does not have Suzu, so now she also has to use her TP just to get the healing her tanks need. But it's not enough. They are still under too much pressure. She has no burst healing. So her Zen uses his Transcendence to help them get to point. But the problem with him doing that is that now they have nothing for the oncoming DPS and tank ults we have, which is Nano Ramatra. So one decision, which is using her cleanse for a reason she did not have to, too early, leads to a lot of decisions by herself and her team that ends in a team wipe. Now we'll watch footage from my end of an example of what I think is using your cooldowns with a little bit more intention and not being wasteful. So I can see on their team that they have a Winston. And as an Ana, I know that he is probably going to try to come for me like he just does now. And instead of using my sleep dart to just throw it into the melee and maybe hope I sleep someone and then my team gets some value, I am holding it to ruin that Winston's life. And I do. Now imagine what would have happened if I had just thrown it to maybe sleep a random tank or maybe hit a DPS and then that Winston still dives me. And will spamming cooldowns in unnecessary situations always get you punished? No. But if you get into the bad habit of using them in non-ideal scenarios, then you are going to be punished for them, just like that Kiri got punished for her Suzu use. So my advice to you is always think about what your cooldown is going to be the most useful for, not only for you, but for your team, and what is going to basically gank the enemy hardest. Your cooldown should be used to save yourself, save a teammate, or secure an elim, depending on the character and on your comp and the enemy team's comp. And just a reminder to follow here on TikTok at Puff Support, and also go ahead on over to Twitch and follow me there when I start streaming at the end of the month. I'm going to keep posting coaching content, highlights, funny things, and I'm always open to any sort of questions or coaching advice that you might need.